Hello.
Hello.
All right. Good morning, Skippy. How are you? Skippy, you're frozen. You're frozen in time. Skippy's frozen. On, say something. He's stuck in bicarbonate. Oh, Skippy. He looks so happy too. Almost angel-like with the sun shining in from one side on his picture and him cold holding a can of, I'm gonna assume, Bang. Um, Skippy, if you can hear me, I cannot hear you, see you, or anything else. See if I can send him a message. I know they had a little bit of snow the other day and they lost power. I don't know if they're still having some problems with that or not. But to the rest of you, welcome back to the show. Another kind of 2 week delay on us between some vacations and some other stuff going on that just did not have time to squeeze something else in. So, boy, I'm really confused now, Skippy. I cannot hear you on that screen. Hold on, your audio is still connecting.
Hey, can we try that again?
Sure. I still have you on another blank box over here. So
Yeah, my Zoom meeting decided to not respond.
All right. Well, I still have you in two windows, so that's excellent.
Well, I can't.
Only one of them's active, so that's good. The other one's just a black box.
Yeah, well. All right.
There we go. Now we're now all set now. Hey, cheers.
Yeah,
I gotta move you back though, so I'm looking at you instead of sideways you.
Oh no.
Well, first time using a computer today. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, great. My computer decided to do some updates, and obviously it updated it not to work. It's awesome. Great.
Yeah. Life is good though, right? Yeah.
Life is cold, but good. Yes.
Yeah. I saw that you guys lost power the other day.
We did. Yes, our entire subdivision, and that was it. we we went to the consumers outage map, and it said 97.9 people or percent of people had power, and it affected 32 houses. But first snow and we lose power. This is just going to be a great winter, I can tell. So good.
I'm glad it wasn't out for long. I'm assuming you have power back.
We are well, yeah, we're good to go for now. Yes, for now.
Well, good.
Yes.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yes, we are all good. How are you over there in the great white west?
Fantastic. It's beautiful out.
Did we bust the snowblower out finally?
We did this morning, yeah.
Oh, how'd that feel?
We had it was like 3 inches. So it was enough for the first test run. I have never owned a snowblower in my life. Really? And my dad never had one until everybody moved out of the house and he lost all his snow shovelers. So
I mean, smart guy. I mean, I'm not gonna
yeah. So yeah, really my first opportunity of ever actually using a snowblower, at least one that was brand new that, didn't plug in and had like a 3-inch wide that we had to use at McDonald's to clear sidewalks. But
yeah.
So yeah, brand new out of the box. I needed to make sure I knew how the bells and whistles worked. And yeah, we lost a pin out of one of the brake levers. It went loose on me about halfway through. So much happier that this all happens on 3 inches versus 12 inches. So
trying to get the glare out of my screen, sir.
Yeah, it was a good morning. It still took me longer than it should have, but trying to figure out the best way to snow blow to not have to go over paths multiple times, but Still got to get the rest of my driveway marked. I mean, I still got like fall stuff out. Um, but we pretty much had snow on the ground since I got back from Iceland.
Yes, the land of fire and ice.
Yeah, more ice than fire, but can't win them all.
The geysers
Pretty
were
dis-
kind of cool.
the geysers were cool. We were pretty disappointed though we didn't get to see any lava.
I mean, there was an active volcano, but
There's like 40 active volcanoes.
sure, that's why it's the land of fire.
That's right. But no, yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess that was the. Well, let's start with you.
Why? Why me? Why me?
Because you actually worked in the last 2 weeks. I did not.
I don't even remember what I did though, is the problem.
So yeah, so while I was in Iceland, Skippy was hard at work setting up roadside still because it was 60 freaking degrees in Michigan almost the whole week.
You know, it was 60 degrees in Michigan almost the whole week. It was still chilly though, however.
It was a cool 60. Yeah, I know.
It was, yeah. Very overcast. Uh Shit, when's the last time we did this? We did it on the
The day I left for the day I left for Iceland, so
13th.
somewhere around the
Okay.
9th or something like that.
Yeah, the 13th was the
Yeah.
Monday I was to come back. Okay. So we did that one. We didn't do okay, so yeah, I did yeah, I had a couple things. So we did our roadside. Everybody, people are happy that I came back, which is always good. Um that'll be our last roadside of the year. I have one more event tomorrow and closing up shop. Unless catering comes around. Uh that Friday the 17th we did a car sale. So the credit union gave all the dealers $15 coupons to get their meal. And whether they ordered $15 of food or not, I still got the $15 coupon. So
Okay.
that was definitely good. Nobody else bought food other than just the dealers because it had rained earlier that day and it was chilly. It went from $60 in the morning. Within 2 hours, it was like high 40s
Ugh.
and rainy and cold and just nasty. That's why I sound like I'm talking through my nose.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Saturday we did a little craft fair at a local school. Little drama happened. Drama's definitely interesting. So we have this little cart, and I'm not going to call it a truck. I'm not going to call it a trailer. It's more of a cart. Um, we call it the fish bowl because for some reason the way she built it is all glass, so you can see all the way around it. And why that might be cool, sometimes it's like you're always on display. Anyway, so she makes really good egg rolls. Like that's her thing is, and then she does wonton nachos, which we have now found out that nobody knows what a wonton is. Um, so, but the title of her truck is the hashtag FFF truck. And that stands for effing fantastic foods. Well, she was scheduled to be at this little craft fair at this elementary school the same day that I was. And
Okay.
I noticed that she wasn't there. So I'd asked the organizer, "Oh, what happened?" Or I asked one of the other food trucks because, of course, they had five at a little craft fair. Um, like where was she? She's like, "Oh, it went all the way up to the school board, but because of her name, effing, not using the actual F word, but just effing fantastic foods. The superintendent actually had to call and tell her not to come the day before the event. So I kind of felt bad for her. We did good. We did about $1,500 in 3 hours, so that's good. Uh, then we did like a mini food truck rally at our local Home Depot. Our local Home Depot loves food trucks. Um, did about $800 on a Sunday. Uh, ate two of her egg rolls, which were bacon cheeseburger egg rolls. They were really good. And then the only thing I really had the week of Thanksgiving was we did the day before Thanksgiving at our local watering hole. Couldn't find a place to park, so I just parked in an alley. Hopefully the cops weren't going to tell me to move. And we actually just did, instead of doing our regular barbecue menu, we actually just did tacos and nachos. And loaded mac, because can't go anywhere without mac and cheese. And we did, I think, about $1,000 in the time I was there. So it was a good day. We got a catering event tomorrow, and like I said, closing up shop because it's really cold. Oh, and I dropped the new trailer off for warranty work already. Do we want to get into that? No. So they didn't. You have an on. All right. So in your current trailer, you have an on-demand water heater.
Yeah.
So you don't have to winterize that, do you?
Yeah. Okay.
Ish. Like we'll just say ish. Like
If
you
your
may,
if your trailer is powered and you have, I'm gonna assume, is yours electric or propane?
I have. It's a great question. So the guy, I basically told the guy, I said, okay, well, since I'm not going to use the trailer, go ahead and winterize it. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. He called me. He said, this is going to take a little bit more than we normally do for RVs. I said, well, how come? So because the water heater you have in your trailer is like one for a mobile home. So we're going to have to fill it basically with antifreeze because we can't drain it. So
Yeah.
that's basically what they called me and told me that yeah. So me not having an on-demand water heater, they basically filled my water heater with antifreeze, and I just have to make sure that obviously all of it or all the pink runs out when I do it. But he said it was going to cost a little bit more because it's a 6 gallon freaking water
So you don't
heater.
have an on demand. Oof. Okay.
I do not. They told me it was like $400 to $500 more expensive. Because I was actually going to ask if they could put like an RV one in that runs on propane
This is
that
what I
just
have.
has,
Yeah.
yeah, that can just drain out the sides so you don't have to worry about it.
So
But
my total cost is $600. I've bought in 3 of them now.
oh, well, now you told
One
me.
of them was my fault. Minor slip
Anyway,
of the
so
wire, and I shorted out a little panel on it. So yeah, oops. That was my fault.
oops.
But yeah, so mine, as long as my trailer is plugged in and I have propane running and
Yeah,
open, it'll actually kick in the water heater to keep the water that's in it ready to go if there's anything in it. What I do to winterize my trailer, and the only thing I've ever done to winterize my trailer, is just let all the water run.
yeah.
So
Just kidding.
as soon as I start getting air coming out of the faucets, I turn the pump off, just leave the faucets open, and we call it good.
Yeah.
I have not had a problem yet.
Except
So
for your faucet broke. And you
that
had to
was, we refilled the water. So that was, we were cleaning the trailer a week before we opened, and there was like 4 days in between opening day and when we finished cleaning the trailer, and it
yeah,
got cold. And
yeah,
I didn't even process the thought in my head that it'd be water freezing temperatures.
yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't even have the heater running in the trailer because it was warmish while we were
yeah.
cleaning it, and just forgot. So yeah. And that was in spring. That wasn't even through the winter. So
So the new
but yeah, we
trailers
really haven't had a problem with it. So
the new trailer's sitting in the RV lot as they said they're backed up. So at least they're not charging me for storage. But it's gonna be there until they're done.
yeah.
So we'll I told them to please plug it in and when they start doing work so they don't run my battery down. That's something that I really need to get used to, by the way. If you don't have 12-volt power now, and the new trailer or new whatever you have does have 12-volt power,
Mhm.
remember to shut your lights off when you walk out of the trailer. I've left them on so many times because I'm not used to having 12-volt power.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, current trailer does not have 12-volt power. New trailer does.
Hmm.
Interesting, I know. But
So if you're not plugged into power, you can still run your lights off the battery that's on it.
yes.
Huh. I don't like that at all.
Why?
We never turn our lights off.
Oh, Uh, You don't have 12, you have 12 volt power.
That doesn't run any of the lights on the inside of the trailer. That
Well,
battery is only there. Well, it was there for two reasons. It was the battery for the generator, the onboard generator that we had. So that
okay.
was the starting battery for that. And then now the only thing it runs is the jack.
Oh,
That's it.
I can run everything on 12 volt power.
Oh no.
I've got 5 light switches over by my door that I can run everything off of it. I don't
For
mind
about
it.
2 minutes.
No, it'll last for a good while as long as it's because when it's plugged in, it's charging anyway. So,
Right.
but yeah,
Huh.
I just have to get used to it. That's all.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so like the new fans that I had put in, those are all 12 volt power. The lights are 12 volt power.
Well, so your fridge are your fridges, I guess they're off right now.
No, those are regular. Those are 110.
So those don't pull off that battery. So it's
Correct.
yeah, okay.
It's just light. It's lights,
Yeah.
those fans, and the undercarriage lights, the Fast and Furious lights they have. That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And for a 100-pound propane tank, it was $303 filled for a
Where
brand new
at?
tank, just from my local place that to get propane from. That I probably the only one I called. Needless to say,
How far are you from Tecumseh? Too far, probably.
like an hour.
Yeah.
Hour and 10 minutes, somewhere around there. There's a lot. I only called one place that I know of, but there's other places that have them. I was worried that I couldn't find a 100-pound tank.
Oh, they're easy to find.
Well, that's what I'm going to find out.
Yeah, Farm and Fleet store. I have 4 of them.
So yeah, so I actually found I was going to do a 50-gallon one or 50-pound one because our Farm and Fleet store actually had a Black Friday sale on a 50-gallon one or a 50-pound one, but I didn't grab it. Probably should have.
If you want an extra one, let me know. I don't need 4 anymore. We were running 4 when we were running the generator. And it was running off of propane. So we were going through 200 pounds a week.
Jesus.
Yeah. But we were only paying $300 and some a week to fill them. 2 of them, not one.
I'm wondering how much propane I'm going to go through when the only thing that is propane is my big burner for when I do noodles and my 3-bay steam table.
So I got my 2 100-pound cylinders filled in the spring, our first trip down to Midwest. And we haven't had them filled since. And granted, pretty much the only thing we're running right now on propane is the water heater.
Yeah.
So, and we're not even close to empty on them. Maybe half. So, yeah, I definitely don't need 4 anymore. I think Chris went and grabbed one and he's using it for his propane grill at his house.
Jeez, that's overkill.
I know.
But why not?
They're filled. You know, the gas is paid for. It's filled. I was like, oh, just go ahead and take one. We're not gonna rotate them anymore. So
Yeah.
use the gas.
But that was my 2 weeks basically ish. It wasn't fun. It wasn't eventful. It was just there.
You made money, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I really got to go through my profit and loss this year. Actually, I hit my sales goal for the year or my revenue goal for the year.
Good.
So that was good. But I don't know, it's just sometimes you just never know it's never enough. That's the entrepreneurial spirit in you. It's just never enough. So yeah. So
Well, let's be right back.
okay.
Keep talking.
Oh, I got nothing to talk about. But anyway. Yeah, I'm interested if any of you guys have just like a propane steam table and maybe one burner. Put on our Facebook page or send us a message on how much propane you think I'm going to go through. Because I'm not used to propane. It'll be fun.
I logged into Square and it flashed a warning said it's lost connection to my bank to relink it. So I figured I could just relink it. And then it sent a code to my phone, which was in the other room.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't planning on needing it. So
I did see that. By the way, just squirrel moment real quick. I did see the
yeah,
world coolest car yesterday. One of
interesting.
my wife runs a pet services business, and one of her clients is a CFO of a bunch of Ford dealerships. And in his, we'll call it his barn, but it's like it is a true man cave. Um, he has a 1967 GT 500.
Really,
So it is basically Eleanor,
Eleanor. Yeah,
but it's all black.
sweet.
Oh, it's gorgeous. So yeah, so because she's unfortunately going to have a surgery, and I have to take care of her business for about a month. So
Well,
get
happy
to
time off for you.
get to play with dogs.
Your your first month of time off is going to be about as restful as my first couple weeks. So
Yeah, that's how it goes.
yeah,
It was cool when I opened up for the day before Thanksgiving. Um, I had put on there that we're doing tacos, and I had like 8 regulars show up at like 6 o'clock at night just to get dinner. I'm like, cool.
nice. What the fuck?
It made me feel good. Anyway, so what do you got
I
going on?
hate. I hate all the security. That's not true.
Oh
I
yeah.
love all the security.
So while you're doing that,
Yeah.
I had somebody while I was in Dallas reach out to me from Toast, wanting to do a demo and tell me about all the great things that Toast has. Um, and so going back to the FFF food truck, she happens to use Toast.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her, what's your feelings? She says, well, I like it and I hate it at the same time. I said, okay. She says, I like it because all their equipment is actually pretty cheap. And it's really, really good stuff. Like they give you a free handheld like terminal like Square has. Um, but their register is only, I think, like $500, where ours is like 800 or 900 or something like that.
All right.
So I hook up my Square to either my iPad hotspot or my phone hotspot. With Toast, you cannot. You have to have basically like a jetpack or something in your trailer to have it hook up to. You cannot hook it up to a personal or hotspot.
How does it know the difference?
I have no idea. That's what she was told. So she has this
Oh,
big old box and everything. That's basically her traveling hotspot.
do they sell those?
No, she got them from she got them from either Verizon
I,
or AT&T or something like
I don't
that.
buy that. I don't think you're the devices shouldn't be able to tell the difference. Wi-Fi is
So
Wi-Fi, but
that was number one. Number two,
mm,
um, if they do not do any money transactions between Toast and your bank account over the weekend.
mm,
So anything you do on Saturday or Sunday does not get deposited until Monday. Anything you
same
do
with
on
Square.
Friday, no. Well, okay. You
You're
and I
using
use
Square's bank accounts.
correct. You're right.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
just, it's the same way for if you, they won't. So everything Friday, Saturday, Sunday gets deposited on Monday for
Okay.
us,
All right. Well, that's all right. So I'm not. I wasn't
unless you're using Square's bank account.
okay. So what else did they say? So their rate is 2.49 plus 15 cents, which if you average it out, I think Square is 2.6 and 10 cents. So pretty much is the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, from what Darren Worth said about Square to, or not Darren Worth, sorry, Bill Moore from the Food Truck Training Group. He said Toast is really, really good for restaurants because of the reporting. But he said it was overkill for food trucks. He's like, I use Square and then I just pick and choose what features I want, and that's what I pay for if I want to pay for it. So I didn't see the value in Toast, but those are some of the things that I found out. And obviously, if you go through it, it might be a little bit different. But if you really, really want the reporting, I guess Toast is probably the really, or that and online, like an online presence, like online ordering and stuff like that. They have a really good online ordering system. Toast Tab. But
Yeah.
if you're just in and out and not worried about the other major reporting issues or major reporting that it can do, then he sits pretty much squares the way to go. And then after a certain amount, you can renegotiate your fees anyway. So
Yeah.
that was it.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
you did some morning show stuff day before Thanksgiving, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're gonna skip all my culinary adventures in Iceland, I mean,
Well, let's
whatever.
talk about your work first, then we can talk about leisure time.
All right. Well, we're just going out of timeline. I just whatever.
Fine, timeline. You're in Iceland.
Horse is awful.
It's disgusting. But
Yeah,
okay.
they eat horse there. It's actually it's not awful. It's interesting.
Sounds like it's
Have you had
awful.
horse before?
No, really, nope, not
It is a
as
unique flavor.
as
It
gamey
is.
as I've ever got was elk. I've had elk, and that was it.
We had reindeer while we were there, so we had reindeer and horse while we were there. Not the first time I've had reindeer. The horse is a weird. It's a unique flavor. It's not bad. I would eat it again. It's not something I would go out of my way to order, though.
What would you
If that
equate
makes
it?
sense.
Beef,
No,
pork?
no.
It's gotta be lean.
Yeah,
Is it lean?
maybe. You know what? Maybe it's closer to like a. It's not. It doesn't have the sweetness of beef. Um,
What did
I
you
just don't know how to explain it. It's
what did
it
you have
was
it on? What was the dish? Like, was it like a steak? Was it like a burger?
no,
Was it
it was part of our appetizers that we had. So there was some. It was like a shaved something of horse on with some other cracker. I don't know what part of the horse it was. It just said horse. I didn't ask. It could have been horse penis
here's
for
your
all I
horse,
know.
here's your horse ass.
I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
Wow. Okay. So you may
Um,
have had testicles and you didn't know.
I've had testicles before, and I've had turkey testicles, and they were not bad. They're actually pretty good. So, that is something I would order again if I saw it on a menu. Um, no, it was just I don't know, and I don't know if it's just the way it was seasoned. Um, I would need a horse steak with just some salt and pepper to get a real good feel for it. But none of the sweetness that you get out of a normal piece of red meat. Um, yeah, it was once you get really got to block it out of your head of what you're eating. Especially, I'm sure you saw most of our pictures from Iceland. That was the
Yeah.
day that we stopped to take the pictures of the horses, like hours before dinner. We weren't aware we were going to be eating horse. To be fair, it was part of the meal that we ordered. So Angie couldn't get it out of her head. She kept picturing the cute little horse that we saw. Um, so she couldn't complete the act. She had to spit it out. But yeah.
Okay.
What do
So I was going, sorry, I'm looking at your Facebook page.
I don't think there's a picture of the horse in there.
No.
Hi.
Uh,
Um,
no, I was trying to figure out what the, like, I'm looking at at the menu and just to see if
so
you, if I could tell you
different
like what,
restaurant.
oh,
So
okay.
that the horse wasn't at the Michelin star restaurant. It was at the a Viking restaurant. So we had a Viking experience type of plating.
Okay.
So it
All
was
right.
part of there was like a four item, almost like a charcuterie board type of thing. So these little
Yeah.
pre-made cracker sandwiches, you know, little handheld stuff. So um
Okay. So, so you
if it
had
makes
four.
sense, the flavor was very base in a chemistry sort of way. There wasn't a
Okay.
whole lot of acid in it. It was a very basic type of taste. And I know that doesn't make sense, but that's the only way I can describe it.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. Okay.
So it was tender. Mouthfeel is fine. Yeah, like I said, I'd be interested in maybe having like a steak that was very minimally handled to really get a flavor for the horse.
Okay.
So
All right.
'cause I don't know what they did to it before it was. I mean, it could have been marinating for 3 days or whatever. Um, but that was good. The Michelin star restaurant experience was good. Um, I expected a little bit more. Flavors were all good. I just expected more flavor. Um, but pretty cool restaurant. That menu is the menu. Everybody eats the same thing. They have two seatings a night. So
Yeah.
there's a 6 o'clock seating and 8:30 seating. Um, we were there for 2 hours, 7 courses or something like that.
Wow.
The only thing we didn't try, and they had it at the Viking restaurant that we went to, was the fermented shark.
Ooh.
So there is a shark that they have off the shore there. It's poisonous
Okay.
unless you let it rot and then ferment it. Yeah. So they bury the shark for like 6 months, and then they take it out of the ground, and then they ferment it in a like a slow smoke almost. So it has this really strong odor of ammonia,
That-
and they eat this. So
Why?
I don't know. There's so much other good food.
It looks like on your Michelin star, you had a lot of lamb.
So yeah, you could pick the lamb menu or the fish menu. I went with the fish. Angie went with the lamb because she's not big into
Oh,
seafood.
okay. I got you. There's two
So
menus.
yeah,
I
where
got
you see the separation there, you're getting either the fish or the lamb dish on each of those.
I
So,
got it. Okay.
but
How was
yeah,
the
it was
halibut?
really good. The soup was phenomenal. I'd have that soup every day of the week.
Halibut soup, green apples, raisins, and dills.
It was
Or
really good with a
dill.
little bit of caviar. Which is the first time I've ever had caviar. I've always been a little bit scared of it. Was not prepared for the pop, the crispness of the egg. So it was like little miniature frozen grapes is the texture that I got.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I wasn't prepared for that. I was expecting it to be a softer. I wasn't expecting pops. But yeah, it was all very good. Yeah. We saw a handful of food trucks. The one that I sent you the picture of literally
Yeah.
was in the middle of nowhere. We were probably an hour outside of the closest town at this waterfall, which is pretty common there. Any waterfalls near the main roads, especially waterfalls of a decent size,
Yeah.
are these little tourist spots. They're all paid parking in these little dirt parking lots, and there's happened to be a food truck there, selling some sandwiches and paninis and donuts.
Brought you
We
back.
had a donut
Brought you back to your winter menu again.
a little bit. I felt bad that we only ordered a donut, or we got a couple
Mhm.
donuts, but we had just eaten lunch before that. Yeah, that was the black crust pizza day, which was really good. The breadsticks were amazing.
Yeah, and it's made like that, right? Like it's
Yeah.
it's
So it's charcoal. So a little bit of activated charcoal infused
yeah.
sourdough. Um, Not really a flavor difference in it, but just a cool thing. But pizza was really good. The breadsticks were really, really good. So
Was there a lot of English speaking people? Is
everybody,
that the is that the
yeah,
language?
it's their secondary language, but everybody speaks it at least to an
Okay.
extent. Communication definitely wasn't an issue. All the menus out there were in half Icelandic, half English. Um,
Okay.
yeah, we didn't really have any communication problems. Stumbling into the one coffee shop in the capital city of Reykjavik that was apparently American owned, clearly, with all
Yeah.
the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s nostalgia everywhere.
Yeah. Saw that.
Um,
That was
one of
cool.
two places that we saw a tip jar. That's it.
Yeah,
So no tipping
really?
at restaurants. You don't even have the option to tip at restaurants. But they had a tip jar at the counter, and then our tour guides for our snorkeling and our glacier tour both had tip jars when we got back to wherever. So yeah, but yeah, Iceland was phenomenal. pretty good food. We had some really good food. We had some pretty good food.
Yeah.
Highly recommend anybody going.
Yeah.
So the preempting that. So our last day was, we already talked about my flat tire when I dropped the trailer off
Yes.
because we already did that show.
Uh-huh.
So fast
Nice.
forward, we land. So we land Sunday night, the following Sunday. I make it home, watch the Lions game. At that point, by the time I went to bed, I'd been up for 21 hours, give or take.
Ugh.
Yeah. Get to bed, wake up in the morning, drive down to Indiana to pick up the trailer, which the smokers fix. Thank you, Jay Craig. I know he listens occasionally. Works great. I don't think though the charcoal chute got insulated because I have a burn on my finger from opening the hatch and touching that side panel. Like it was that hot that it burned my finger.
Oh,
Which okay, whatever. Just something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. But
don't touch hot.
yeah, so can be fixed. So he put a new piece of stainless over that whole end. And it's
Okay.
not welded, it's screwed in around all the spots instead of being welded. So we could take that panel off essentially and restuff.
Yeah.
I know he was really pushing to get it done before I got back. So not a big deal. Anyways, smoker works great. We got back. So yeah, back Monday afternoon, quick to go do shopping because we had the Free Beer and Hot Wings show day before Thanksgiving live show that we did last year and we did again this year. So that's Monday into Tuesday. I'll prep, light the smoker on Tuesday. We have to be ready to serve by 5:30 in the morning on Wednesday. So alter the timeline to make sure we're still keeping same kind of cook times and everything without really pushing anything. I was up all night with the exception of about an hour nap. Get down there, everything's great. We ended up selling out of food. We did the same. We beat our sales number from last year in the first hour and a half. Last year it was 5 hours total. We beat that sales total in an hour and a half.
Awesome.
They had promoted us super hard this year. For 2 months, we were getting plugs on the radio saying that we were going to be there. I probably should have prepared a little bit better. But yeah, we got to the point where I made Chris go inside and get to the stage to get their order because they hadn't eaten yet. And we were going to run out of food before they got a chance to put in an order. And let me play this real quick. I don't think you're going to be able to hear it, Skippy. I don't know why you don't hear these drops, but we got an additional drop from them yesterday on the radio, national radio. You can't hear that, can you? Everybody else can.
All Josh all the time.
So yeah, basically them just raving about their breakfast that they got from us. So
Good for them.
it's
Good for
nice
you.
to have partners. They were nice enough. I heard it and asked Chris if he was listening. So he emailed them asking if we could get the drop of that section. So they sent that to us, which is very nice. They were so appreciative that we're there. And they said that was absolutely the least they could do was all the plugging. So I don't know what kind of cost is associated with that airtime that we got, but we'll say it's worth it.
I'd go
In the
with that.
long run. It's a fun event. We make money and we get our name out. So
Absolutely.
to our target audience. So
Yep. That's where
yep.
to go.
And then the person that booked us came out. She asked if everything was good. I said, yep, we will keep coming as many times as you guys want to have us. Count on us for forever. So and any other events you guys want to do for live events that you want to set. Because, yeah, it was great. And then yeah, into Thanksgiving. I cooked one turkey for a friend. Did a couple others. We did do smoked turkey for our event on Wednesday. Which is a good thing we did because first of all, no one read the special board the entire time we were there.
No one ever reads it. Like no one ever reads it.
Well, okay, and it was dark. It was not the best lit part of the parking lot. So it's harder for your eyes to go down. So we had mashed potatoes. We were doing loaded mashed potatoes with turkey. And then we had a sandwich called the next day. Which was, so if you get your package of King's Hawaiian rolls in the 12 pack,
Yeah.
all the rolls are connected. They're not individual. You can pull one out, but you have to separate them, right? So what we did was we did them into fours. So you had 4 Hawaiian rolls, and then we slice it down there, and that's the bun.
Okay.
And then mashed potatoes, turkey, and some turkey gravy on top with some pickled onions. So kind of like a day after Thanksgiving type of sandwich. We sold a couple, but the best thing about having the turkey is when we ran out of pork, we just swapped everything out for turkey and got us another hour of service.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we did a couple turkeys. Finally I got a decent night of sleep, or a full night of sleep Saturday, I guess. Maybe. Yesterday was the first day that yeah, I had some time to myself to kind of settle down a little bit, and felt pretty good about knowing what the day was today when I woke up. So
That's yeah, that at least having a day. I know Thanksgiving Day, I woke up at like I went to bed at like 3 after getting done. I left at like 2 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. Got to bed at 3. Woke up for some reason at like 5:30, wide awake, and then fell asleep again. And then woke up at like 8 and then fell asleep again, but like 11. My wife's like,
I,
Aren't you going over their house to watch football? I'm like, shit.
I've been up at 10 after 4 every morning, like just awake. Like, nope, I don't have to be awake at this time. But I guess I'll wake up and go do stuff. Find something to do. I'll sit in my living room and look at my Christmas tree.
Some peace and quiet for two
Yeah, I
hours.
mean it's
before
nice,
bed.
and I love that time of morning, and especially this time of year with the Christmas tree up and lit and stuff. It's very peaceful for me. So, but yeah, we have one catering job next week, I think, and then yeah, that's it for us for 2023.
Yeah.
I have had numerous people reach out to me, locations that we set up at this year, saying they're already getting asked from food trucks about next year. It's like, Jesus Christ, can we
Yeah.
have a month for
No.
me to get my bearings here a little bit and kind of try to game plan for next year? So, where I would normally take a little while to allow for us to get catering booked in some weekends and stuff, looks like we're gonna have to push hard and start booking some of our normal spots. So
I wanted to
whatever.
I have just about every weekend in June booked. A couple in July. Um we got reached out with some, it's funny. So we do this, this will be the 3rd year. It's a 5K that's sponsored by Bell's Brewery. It's called Overrun instead of Overrun. Um, they pre-sell meals. So for like $14, we do a sandwich, mac and cheese and coleslaw, or mac and cheese and cornbread, whatever they want. Um, each year we've gotten the same amount. It's like 86 pre-sold meals. Love it. Love doing pre-sales. That way I know how much. But yeah, we got asked to do that again, which is awesome. But I love that it's a 5K, and we they ask a barbecue truck to come back. Like they have a vegan truck or vegetarian truck, and then they have a Spanish truck, but we're always the one that does the best. So it's very kind of humbling,
Awesome.
especially when
Yeah,
the
it's
nutrition.
next year should be a great year. Um
I've already set my 2024 goals. Has to do with you. Do you want to hear it?
Oh God. Sure, let's have it.
Just to beat you in sales.
Ooh. All
That's
right.
all
So
it is.
what'd you do this year? What was your total this year?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Uh, we did.
Go ahead and throw in your catering for next week too. Add that in there.
Well, it's already paid, so I have to.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's for tomorrow. Um, 225. Oh, I gotta do the math. Hold on. That one isn't in there yet. Where's my calculator? Oh, sorry. All right, gross sales.
Yes.
228, 513.
Okay. And we will be at 339.2.
Oh, 110, 111,000.
I hope you beat me. I really do.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be outstanding. I feel I it seems like I've had this 450 goal for a long time. But for next year, my target's going to be. Sorry, I'm listening to my dogs. Hold on a second.
Barking at other people's snowblowers again.
Hey.
Okay. Rah, 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 rah. Kick your ass. Rah, rah, rah. Fucking dogs. Rah, rah, rah.
Sorry, they're playing bitey face in the snow, apparently fighting over the same snowball.
Yes. Remember,
We were right
remember,
about 10% this year, increase over last year.
first rule of Doggy Fight Club is not to talk about Doggy Fight Club.
Yeah. So yeah, I think our target for next year is going to probably be somewhere in about the 375 range.
Were you
Um,
up year over year from last year to this year?
9.5%, give or take.
Okay.
Um, so
That
yeah,
means you're
hoping
growing.
for what's that?
Still means you're growing.
Oh yeah, I mean, 9% growth year to year is awesome. No complaints about that.
You already have a third of my total sales goals already booked for next year.
Yeah, that's what I just pulled up was our invoices. So right now I have I have $90,000 right now in invoices for
Yeah,
next year.
big
So,
deal.
and that's for 23 events.
Yeah.
Or 20, I'm sorry, 24 events.
And none
So
of
out
those
of our
events should take away from really anything else other than just your roadside because it's during the week, right?
yeah. Well, most
Yeah.
of them there's a few weddings and stuff in there, but so yeah, we're going to be open for 211 days, I think is what I did it as. So yeah, 190 non-event days currently. To do 270 or $280,000. So, which is an average of 280,000 divided by 90, $1,400 days, $1,500 days. So,
That's good.
yeah, doable, 100% doable. And really, we haven't even really pushed for booking for next year. Like, I think we have one open house on the books for next year
Yeah.
so far. And that's stuff that we don't normally see until January, February, where it really starts to ramp up for those
Yeah.
weekends. So our May and June weekends stay pretty empty until we get to like February. But they fill up every year, and May and June are our two busiest months every year so far. So, yeah, it should be a really, really good year. I feel really good about kind of pumping the brakes on the second trailer. Glad that some of the financing didn't work out.
Yeah.
yeah, it'll allow me to really focus here on this year and making sure that everything we can hit everything as good as it possibly can be hit. We definitely had some stretches this last year where where we weren't doing the best, either sales wise or location wise. Um, Jesus Christ. Um, really trying to get this first one as stable as possible. And really just running autopilot. And I finally got myself towards the end of last year to having some balance in my life. Looking forward to having a year of that. uh, yeah,
Gotta love balance.
yeah, it's important. I found this out. I've always been one to go, go hard, even if work a lot of hours at work and then come home and, always doing stuff. And yeah, but when you're doing 100 hours at the office, it's hard to, and then you're doing another 20 at home trying to get shit done, all of a sudden you're doing nothing but going and sleeping. So yeah,
Well,
everything for a reason.
in the next couple months, we got to talk about changes and goals and what anything that you can do to try to be more efficient. Because I know that's what I'm gonna really focus on, is being more efficient with my
Yeah.
time. Definitely with my time.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty important year for you. I look forward to you finding that full-time employee.
Blech.
I hope you find the right person fairly easily. But it'll absolutely 100% change everything about your business. So
The thing
so
is if I decide to operate two trailers, because it's still an up in the air thing. If I decide to
mhm,
operate two, then my goal is to beat you in sales. If I don't operate two, it's just to continue to grow. Um, my full-time employee I'd only hire if I decide to operate two trailers, because it's just a lot of the stuff I do, I guess I don't need somebody there for. And I look at it, here's what I look at. I look at it as wasted money. Like, if I can do it myself,
mhm,
why would I want to pay somebody to I guess come and tag along? If
yeah,
granted there's no difference in the line moving or something like that. Big events, I'm going to have another person or two people with me.
right.
Um, and maybe some events I'll actually I'll take time off like I did last year. I did one event where my two girls ran the trailer without me, and it went fine. And as much as I was uh, freaking out about it, it went fine. So I know that they can do it. Um, and if all I have to do is tow the trailer there and tell them to show up and they know what to do, then I'll probably do more of that this year. And so
Yeah,
that'll change some things, but I think it'll be I already know of like 4 or 5 events where I can, have two trailers in the same or in the same town but different locations.
yeah,
And that is really like like moving me to really have two trailers out there. So I don't know, it's still a work in progress. It's still whether I can do it or not. I did find another smoker for sale that I kind of want, but I can't do anything. My wife will kill me.
um
I found
I
it.
guess the biggest thing about having the full-time person, yeah, it seems like I get what you're saying, where why pay somebody to do something that I can do. But are you able to give 100% to every part of your business right now that you're doing yourself? So if you can hand off some of the tasks that anybody could do, like making food or whatever, then lends time for you to be able to work on marketing or advertising, or just keeping up on, your banking and stuff without having to do it after hours.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just getting you closer to be able to have some of that balance, or to open up to where, you only do lunch on a Tuesday because you need the afternoons to be able to catch up on stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
it
I'm
seems
picking up on it.
counterintuitive, but you can't keep doing what you're doing forever. You know, it
I'm
definitely
still
wears on a body.
I'm still working towards my 5-year plan.
Good.
We're and we're looking at places. I don't want that plan to uh I don't want that plan to go away. So I always try to keep it forefront. But yeah. So we're working on it. But I have goals that I have a board that I want to put together to really continue to remind me about what's important in my life. And that's being an entrepreneur is like, again, the spirit is there's never enough. You just want to keep moving and moving and moving. Um, my mentor who has passed away always had a thing: if you're not growing, you're dying. And sometimes I take that too literally,
Yeah.
where I just want to keep moving forward. So, but yeah, it'll be a good off season. Be a good off season. I'm really looking forward to off season.
Good. Do you have
Yeah,
plans this off season?
I'm taking over my wife's business while she's down.
I know for the month, but
No,
anything
well,
else?
um,
Anything fun?
no, we don't do fun in my household. Uh, no, her surgery is even though when it's going to take a good 3 months to fully recover. So it's no, really no fun, no fun here. I'll do stuff around the house. I did talk about we do want to build a garage or an outbuilding of some sort.
Hmm.
So I talked to my electrician guy about what it's going to take to actually drop a pole with a 200 amp service on it, just so I can plug in the trailer because I
Yeah.
don't have over where I want to put the outbuilding. There's no power. Um, so that's going to be something I'm going to look into. Trying to get more organized is something I'm definitely going to look into. Trying to figure out how to do that because I'm not. I am. How do I say it? I'm a go getter, but I'm lazy at the same time. Like I have so many things I want to do, but then I think about doing them. I'm like, shit, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
off season fun other than just booking new things.
Okay.
My daughter is coming this weekend. We get to hang out with her for a little while.
Nice.
That's always good.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
always
good.
good. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do.
Excellent.
I know you went to
Excellent.
Iceland, but are you doing anything?
Um, no, I'll be doing no.
No.
No major
Okay.
plans. Travel will consist of running to Alex's cheer competitions because that kicks off this week. Cheer
Ooh, we're
season
back
does.
to
So
competitive cheer.
what's that?
So we're back to competitive cheer.
Yeah. So yeah, they're in Louisville this weekend. I'm not going to that one. But I will be traveling to the great town of Muncie, Indiana next weekend. So
Ooh,
check that one off the bucket list.
the booming metropolis, if you will.
Yeah. Um, yeah, they have quite the travel schedule this year. Oof. Um, so I'll get to the ones I can get to relatively easily. But I will not be going to Texas with them or Atlanta with them. Probably. So but yeah, there's a couple new barbecue restaurants in the area, a couple other restaurants in the area that I'd like to get to. So um looking forward to hitting those. This is the good time of year because I actually get to catch up on all the things that are new in town from the last year. So I'll probably play some more some X golf in my future. And
I would like to visit barbecue restaurants with you. Maybe we can do a thing.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm in. There's
Actually,
there's a few over here I haven't tried yet.
Yeah, I can would definitely be willing to make a trip over there, and we can hit some of the ones over there too.
There's one up by our friends Mike and Denise Robinson that I haven't tried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can stop by and see them. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. Mike would love the opportunity to come sit and talk with us at a barbecue restaurant. And Denise can come too to make sure Mike doesn't, get too heavy-handed on the beverages. The only one that can keep Mike in line, and that's a full-time job.
That is a very full-time job. Yes. No politics. No politics will be discussed during that.
Well, we're not going to talk about the UAW.
We can talk about that. That's all. That's fine. I'm sure he has his own. I'm sure he has his opinions for sure.
You think?
Our friend is a union steward for the UAW, so
former union steward.
Is he former? I thought he's still.
I thought he retired. I thought he was done. Yeah.
I don't think he retired yet. No, when they retire, they're moving to Florida. I know that for a fact.
Oh, all right.
I know he's still here enjoying the Michigan snow.
Well, then I'm sure he had a most lovely last couple months.
I'm sure he had a great time. Yeah, great time.
No, I'm gonna watch some TV. I'm gonna watch some movies and some shows. Been trying to figure. I did puzzles one year for the off season. That was COVID off season, so I was doing some puzzles.
Oh.
But now I have little hands, so I can't really take over the dining room table with puzzle pieces because that won't work.
No.
But yeah,
he's talking about kids, not his corgis, folks.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe some Lego sets or something. I don't know.
They make adult Lego. They make adult Lego sets. I don't
even mind the kids ones.
I'm definitely back into Legos. I love Legos. I had a whole mess load of them. One time I found out where my mom was hiding my Christmas presents.
Way to ruin Christmas.
And I broke in and not really broke in, but opened the door and went through the bag and I noticed there was a Lego set in there. So what did I do?
Opened it.
I opened it, put it together. Well, what did I do then? Went and showed Mom, look what I built. What proceeded to happen? I got an ass whooping.
No. We were never Lego kids growing up. My cousins had Legos and I couldn't build anything without directions. The first Lego set I put together, I was in college and I bought the display X-Wing fighter for Star Wars. It took me like a week and a half and it was on its own little pedestal, like the wings opened and closed. This thing was, I don't know, probably 2 feet long.
Oh, it's huge.
And I had it on top of a bookshelf, all nicely displayed, and a fucking cat knocked it over. And the thing went into about a bajillion pieces. And I already had thrown away the directions because why would I ever need the directions again? Because I'm never going to take it apart.
So yeah. You know what other people do when they're done doing that?
Glue it.
Glue it together.
Break out the Craggle.
Break out the glue and yeah. So my daughter's boyfriend wants the Darth Vader helmet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
There are some really, really cool sets. There are so GD expensive though.
Oh yes.
These are Legos for display.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oscar, my stepson, gets Legos all the time, and he has zero interest in building the intended form that on the box. The first thing he does is literally rip the box open, and opens all the Legos, put them in a pile, and throws away all the wrapping. I'm sorry, it's in a pile somewhere. But so he'll get like 6 sets and it'll just be one big pile of Legos. I was like, dude, there was some cool stuff we could make. I don't want to do that. Like,
He doesn't care,
whatever.
but you realize you can go to the Lego store and just get a mishmash bunch of
Oh yeah.
Legos.
Well, I know. We
No,
don't have a
no
Lego store
sets,
near us though.
no sets or anything.
I think our closest Lego store is in Detroit.
Yeah, there's one in Detroit. There's one in
Yeah.
Auburn Hills. Yeah,
So
cool stuff.
yeah.
I love that stuff when I was a kid. I saw the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
It was like $300 for as much stuff as they need to put into that Infinity Gauntlet.
I have a display Hogwarts Express coming.
Ooh,
Yeah. Definitely meant to be on a bookcase somewhere.
are you a Harry Potter fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Potterhead.
I gotta
Yeah.
we gotta one of these days through a Zoom meeting or something. You and my wife will have to go head to head on Harry Potter trivia.
Oh, I can't do that. Um there's a lot of book stuff in there, and I have read
Uh,
the books and listened to the books multiple times, but there's so much finite stuff in Harry Potter. My daughter, Alex, is at least at one point in time knew everything. Um but yeah, I'm a big fan. I can, like, even watching the movies, like people are picking out like differences between the movies and books. I was like, how do you guys know that? like,
right. Yeah.
like
I
it's
never
yeah.
I never got into the books, but I watched the movies. My favorite one is the last one because it's over. Uh, anyway, what is the what if you don't if you can say it without anybody hearing you, um, other than our fine listeners, uh, what's this year's big Christmas present looking like? Is there a big Christmas present for the kids?
No.
No.
Ingrid wants lots of Stitch stuff. So Lilo and Stitch is
Oh,
still very
oh,
popular, which surprises me with as old as that movie is. Um,
love Stitch.
Oscar with Oscar with like a PlayStation 6. Um,
Nice. Okay.
yeah, he's convinced that Santa can make one.
Good for him. All right.
Yeah. Um,
You know what you do? You just buy the PlayStation that's like that you can get at the dollar store for like $1.50 and
but
put the letter six on it.
yeah, he doesn't know what the old ones look like.
I got the during Thanksgiving, I got the privilege to play one of the VR headsets.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was. The little controllers had little circles on them, I guess, whatever. But I got to play the football game, football pro or whatever, NFL Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun as hell. Like,
Yeah.
like it was really, really fun.
I've
Until
got one
then,
of the Quest headsets that I got a couple years ago. Angie got it for me and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Um, I was, yeah,
yes,
Beat Saber or whatever, which is only, it's like one of the drum games, but you know, you're lightsabering blocks as they come.
yeah.
I played for hours until my head was so sweaty from the headset that I needed air.
Or
But
your shoulders are dying because you
yeah,
just keep. It's definitely a
got tired
workout.
of the dogs barking at me for waving around my hands.
Neighbors are looking in your windows.
Yeah.
Is that guy having a stroke?
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I love video games. I have an old one of the old, or not one of the old, when Nintendo released their little mini versions of the Nintendo Classic and the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I've got my mini NES is sitting on my desk, and every once in a while I'll plug it into one of my monitors. So I a couple days ago I was bored and tired, so I plugged it in, popped in Super Mario Brothers, beat it in 10 minutes. Flew through,
That,
remembered where all the warps were and all the secret stuff was. I was like, oh, this is easy. I remember when I
that's
first,
one game I've never beat.
yeah, the first one's easy. It's the other
Never.
ones. Super Mario Bros. 2 was impossibly long and tedious. 3 was fun, but
Three's
yeah,
fun.
I remember it was the year they came out, 1985.
Mhm.
And our family got one from my grandma, who was a huge Atari nerd. Huge Atari nerd.
Oh yeah.
Um, And we plugged it into her TV, and no one being able to get past the first World 1-1 and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on here? I
Yeah.
was when it comes to Nintendo, I was a big um uh Zelda fan. Zelda was mine. I love Zelda.
I hated it. I
Really?
got lost too many times in the deserts. Like I I was a much bigger Zelda fan later. Ocarina of Time was where it really hit for me. And then we have a Switch, so I have one of the newer ones, which is awesome. But yeah, the older I've even tried playing the older ones on this little guy, and I just can't get into it. I have a really hard time with it. I
I'm
don't know.
sorry.
I guess I yeah.
So
My
fans,
cousins loved it, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, how do you know where you're going?
uh remember GoldenEye for the N64?
Yep.
That was a great game. Great game.
Well,
My
yeah, and
wife
that
loved Duke Nukem 64.
so was Duke Nukem on the 60? It was on the 64. So
Oh
that
yeah.
was kind of a golden era too of where computer games really started taking off. So you had the better
Yep.
of the Sim Cities, and then you
Yep.
had Leisure Suit Larry,
Yeah.
and gosh, there was another one that was like Leisure Suit Larry. I can't remember the name of it, but
You had Doom.
oh,
Doom was a
Doom, yeah,
Doom was a big computer game.
yeah, it's super simple. I mean, in premise,
Yes.
in premise.
So
Ah,
fans, that was our video game section of the podcast. Please leave us a comment on what your favorite video game was and the first video game you ever beat. My first
yeah,
video game I ever beat was Contra.
could you use the cheat code?
Absolutely, I did. Konami Code, absolutely.
Um, yeah,
Never was good at Donkey Kong.
I
I
still
love
enjoy. I'm not good at it either, but I still enjoy playing it.
I love Mario Kart. Anything Mario Kart, I love.
Yeah.
Uh, I still have I have what I call the PlayStation 3 VCR edition. It's as big as a VCR.
Yeah, it's the first one where you could actually use it as a DVD player.
Yes. But it's
Yeah.
the only PlayStation that's backwards compatible too.
No,
Like
the 5 is now.
it was the 5? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they re-added it in because they didn't have it on the 4 and people were freaking pissed.
They were. Yeah. Oh,
Um,
back in the day. I got a PlayStation 4 I've played probably 7 times. Uh
yeah.
way more than I'll ever need. I used to play the NHL games all the time.
Well, there was a point with the PlayStation 3 where it was actually cheaper to buy the PlayStation 3 than it was to buy a DVD player
Yes.
or a
Yeah.
Blu-ray player. Like it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market,
What
which
was
was
funny too
remarkable.
is so I worked for Quicken Loans at the time, Rocket now, and they allowed you because to work from home, they allowed you a computer loan, and and the PlayStation actually qualified because you could get on the internet with it and you could buy a keyboard and everything like that. So needless to say, I got a really good monitor, PlayStation 3, and turned it in under my computer loan.
All seems legit.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
great time. Great times.
Huh. So you said you watched a football game Saturday. Which one did you watch?
The Michigan Ohio State quote unquote the big game.
The
Uh,
game.
it
Hail,
was
baby.
I thought it was a great game. I thought the refs missed calls on both sides, so I don't
Yep.
nobody Ohio State people can't blame the refs. Um,
You want to bet?
that that catch in the end zone for the second touchdown for Michigan was amazing. I don't they
Yeah.
could all the announcers were saying that it wasn't a catch, it was an interception. I could see how it's both, but I don't think they could have not called it a catch because that was the original ruling on the field.
So
Um, It was
So
great. It
that,
was just a really good game.
yeah,
And
so
they
that catch is super important because all the Ohio State people were complaining about it right after it happened.
oh, absolutely.
And then you had a very similar catch at the end of the game on Ohio State's last drive.
Yeah.
And
Very
it was
close.
a
Yeah.
consistent call. They called it the same way as a catch, fumble, and
Yeah.
then yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that that was the case, and they didn't say it was an incomplete pass because that would have been the whole story of the whole game, was that the refs were one sided for Michigan. But yeah, a great game. Ohio State is a very good football team. Michigan's is better. So looking forward to the end of December.
there is still a chance that Ohio State can get into the CFP, but
God, yeah, I know.
it's a long shot. It's a long
Well,
shot.
first of all, let's see where today's standings fall, because we had the same scenario last year where Michigan #3 beat Ohio State #2, and all they did was switch spots. Or Ohio State dropped to 4, and Michigan, I think, even stayed at 3 or something stupid.
So Michigan will come. I mean, they in the ranking or in the standings, they're #2. But I
That's
think in
the
the
Associated Press. That's not the college
correct.
football playoff. So
I
two
think in the
different things.
CFP they'll be #2. I
Yeah.
don't think there's a chance they can leapfrog Georgia.
No. Well, yeah. I I think they have the better win, and all other things considered equal. Yeah. I'm not saying that Michigan can beat Georgia. I don't know. But yeah, I think you can make a case for it just based on statistics and Michigan having the better win. They beat the #2 team in the country. Georgia's best win was against #8, I think, or something like that.
But here's the thing, right? So they beat the #2 team in the country, but they were actually favored by 3.
But at home. So you get 3 points for home field advantage, or for home field regardless. So neutral, it's a dead even game.
I think Ohio State will drop down to like 6, maybe 7. Because 6 right now is Oregon at 10-1. They could definitely drop to 6 and be, still 10-1 or 11-1, I should say. I think Washington and Florida State both move up. And it's going to be Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. That's my top 4. I love it that finally they're expanding it next year. I think it'll be much better. But as of right now, that's where it goes. And good old Michigan State grabbed a new head coach.
Yeah. How you feeling about that?
I don't know too much about him.
Were you hoping for a bigger name?
Yes, I was actually hoping for a bigger name, but I think I'm okay with it. He's done decent at Oregon State, but I don't know. We'll see.
Michigan State's never been a big name like landing spot. It's not a flashy school. It doesn't have
it's
the
not.
national, bravado to it. I think it's harder for them to pull in a big coach with it's a very regional market versus a national brand.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, the best coach he ever had was Saban, and he didn't make his name until after he left.
So you were saying that Georgia had the bigger wins, or that Michigan
had a bigger win. Yes.
Bigger win.
Yep.
If you look at the overall, Georgia's played more ranked teams.
Okay.
So I think that's why they deserve to be #1, is they beat more ranked teams.
How many top 10 teams?
Handedly.
2?
1. Hold on. Do you count the fact that no, hold on. So that was the last year. 2 top 10 teams.
Same as Michigan. Michigan's beaten 2 top 10 teams without their head coach.
Well, their head coach shouldn't have done something stupid, but anyway, we won't.
What did their head coach do?
Authorized,
Proven. What
I
did their
don't
head
need
coach?
to. I don't need to. He accepted a 3-game suspension, so he already conceded.
No, he didn't.
He did too.
No, he didn't.
He conceded.
He
He
accepted
wasn't
the suspension
the
that was
school.
given. That
The school
doesn't
wasn't
mean.
fighting.
Oh, good God.
The school wasn't fighting it. They said they came out numerous times and said that if they suspend him, they will fight it. They will take it to
Right.
court. They will do whatever. They
Yep.
decided not to
Yeah.
because and he took the 3-game suspension
Correct. Why?
because he told him not to fight it.
Why?
Why not? I don't know why. Why would you say that he conceded?
Maybe to keep the focus on football and not on the media circus that a 3 or 4 day court battle would take.
And that could be true. But he could also be there for the team because while he's appealing it, he
Right.
wouldn't be suspended.
If he had to go to court for a couple of days, he wouldn't be able to practice with the team because he still had access to the team during the week. He just couldn't be there on the field during game day.
I mean, still took a
He
3-game.
hasn't conceded to anything.
He conceded to a 3-game suspension.
Yes, he accepted the stupid arbitrary punishment that the Big Ten has handed down.
Well, the NCAA is still looking into it, so it's amazing
Right.
what they do.
Do you know what happened the last time a coach did advanced scouting in the NCAA?
I do not.
A half a game suspension for the head coach. That's it.
And who is that? Somebody from Joe Buck State?
Why does it matter where they're from?
Notoriety or not notoriety, but
So we're gonna base punishments based on the prestige of the program.
yes, absolutely. True, no, truthfully.
So it's okay for little schools to break the rules, but we're gonna really throw the book at the bigger schools.
Absolutely they will. I think they would for sure.
This wasn't a Division II school, but I don't remember who it was, but it was not like a division. It wasn't like Grand Valley State University.
No, it was probably Joe Buck State out of Timbuktu, but still, who are they going to? They were freaking doing Napoleon High School. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. If you're bigger, if because they want to prove that nobody's above the rules. The NCAA is for themselves. They're not for schools. They're not for players. They're for themselves. So they'll try to do something to prove that nobody's above the rules. Jim Harbaugh is not above the rules. Still think he's an
Hey, but you
overrated
still have to
quarterback.
prove that he authorized it.
Well, him accepting a 3-game suspension already is
No,
not
it
something
does
in his
not.
corner. It's
No,
not
it
something in
doesn't.
his corner.
Some things aren't worth the fight. He's
And how
saying
do you and how do you
he
tell and how do
accepted
you
that
tell the
there's
NCAA?
people in the program that did things they weren't supposed to do.
But
He is the head of the program.
how do you tell the NCAA that you're not guilty when you already accepted a 3-game suspension?
What?
That's a simple question. How do you tell? So, like, if you went in front of a court and one judge said, "Okay, we're going to give you a 3-game suspension, or we're going to give you 5 points on your license because you were speeding." Okay, I accept that. But then he goes to the same court or the higher court or whatever, and because he was speeding and reckless driving, he pleads not guilty to everything, but he already accepted the first punishment. How does that not? That just kicks his case in the nuts
Okay.
because he's already accepted
First
a
of
punishment.
first of all, what was Harbaugh suspended for? Violating the sportsmanship, blah blah blah, da 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 da. Right?
Something or other. Yes.
Yeah. The program has to suspend somebody, right? Who are you going to suspend? The head coach, right?
Okay. I mean, because
Joe Pa, tread lightly here,
Yeah, might not want to use that.
didn't directly do anything. Okay, it turned out that he kind of knew what was going on, but let's say he didn't. Shit happened without him knowing. He's still going to be the one eventually getting suspended, right?
Okay,
Right?
I'm hearing you.
Yes, you're going to suspend the head of the program for things that happened with your staff.
So, okay, question.
So
Then why
think of it
was
as a like a CEO of a corporation who has zero control over his staff. He gets fired for it, right? You're
okay?
gonna say, "Yep, they are fucking idiots. Let's just get this over with." I'm not saying he didn't know,
If that's the
but
case, why was the Michigan Athletic Boosters slash the university itself so inclined to fight it originally, but then decided not to?
I think that the point that they were coming into their biggest 3 week stretch of football had a lot to do with it.
And that could be true. That
Had
could be
this
true.
happened at the beginning of the season and he was suspended for, let's say, the first 3 games, which he already was, but I think they're much more inclined to have that battle then than the last 3 weeks where everything is on the line. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And this whole the NCAA really, I will also tread lightly. Them with keeping schools out of playoff contention. It happened to Michigan basketball. They were, I think, a decade where they couldn't go to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You're not punishing anybody but the kids that were already enrolled in the program that did nothing wrong. They're the only ones getting punished for that. The school's losing revenue because they can't bring in the athletes or whatever. So fine them. Don't screw the 30 people you already have on the team.
True. It's not their fault.
It's such bullshit.
It's definitely not their fault for sure.
Just like if you keep say Michigan football can't be a part of the college football playoffs next year. You're hurting the athletes as much as you're hurting anybody else.
Well, here's the thing though, is now you have the transfer portal. So I mean anybody can go anywhere, which is now stupid, but
Well, yeah. And we're talking about a rule that the NCAA is considered about getting rid of because the the advantage is so negligible if there is one.
yeah.
So
Though, even suspended, he earned a $500,000 bonus
yeah, because they
defeating
still
Ohio
won the Big
State.
Ten. Yeah.
No, it was just for defeating Ohio State. It wasn't necessarily for the Big Ten because they haven't won the Big Ten yet.
Yeah. Well, they haven't won the Big Ten yet. The East. Yeah, people saying the only reason they won the games they won
East
because
Division.
of that is just bullshit. Maybe they won as big as they did, but I don't think they lose 98.99% of those games if you played them 100 times without the advanced scouting.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's
I think this is a lot of Mr. Scallions and him wanting to take over the Michigan program like he documented in his 600-page manifesto. Got some boosters because the boosters is what funded this whole endeavor.
fiasco.
Got some people on his mind that didn't like Jim Harbaugh, and I think that's a lot of what it was. So we'll find out. Maybe not. Who knows? I think everybody's making way too big of a deal out of it. So it's just another minute thing that at any other program that's not a top 10 program is a slap on the wrist and we're done with it already.
Yeah, I agree.
And we move on. Kind of like the whole effing he bought some cheeseburgers for somebody last summer. 2 weeks before this whole NIL thing where you have programs now offering $1 million NIL deals to players.
Yeah.
It's all
No,
fucking stupid. The NCAA is just out of control. And none of it makes sense. So,
yay.
welcome to Football Talk. I would personally love to see Michigan kind of go past the bluff stage of leaving the Big Ten just to see what happens.
Oh, with all the, so I saw somebody did post Michigan's 2024 schedule.
Oh yeah.
And if they run the gauntlet, like, all respect to Michigan. I'm not a Wolverine at all, but that schedule, if those teams that are now, if they're there and they're as tough as they are now, like, it's going to be a tough season.
Everybody wanting Michigan to have a tough schedule. It's coming next year.
Oh, it's.
And you want to talk about the ad or the TV revenue that Michigan would take with it if it left the Big Ten?
Oh, it would. Yeah, for sure.
Hundreds of millions of dollars that the Big Ten would lose without Michigan in it.
Well, but where would Michigan go?
Nowhere. They can be an independent.
Independents don't make money.
How would they not make money?
They would
They
have
have
to
8
get
home games a year with 110,000 people in attendance.
Correct, but
They
would
could
have
start
to get
their
that,
own TV network.
but that means the Big Ten network wouldn't be able to cover them.
Okay.
That's a
You
big
don't think
loss
they
for the
couldn't
Big
make a
Ten
deal with ABC on their own?
They could. They absolutely
Where
could.
do you watch Notre Dame football?
NBC
There you
or
go.
ESPN.
You don't think Notre Dame's not making money on that as an
Correct,
independent?
but I get it. They've been the longest running independent that there is.
Yeah.
I see them. I would see them going to a conference before I'd see Michigan leaving the Big Ten.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm saying Michigan would be just fine, and I think they hold all the cards there. I guarantee you, someone like Amazon would jump at being the sole holder of Michigan.
The streaming rights.
Yeah, Michigan football games.
Yeah, I could see
and
that.
they would pay Michigan handsomely for those rights. So
yes, I could that I could see for sure. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Michigan would lose any money leaving the Big Ten. So other than depending on how the college football, I mean, it's a lot harder to get into the playoffs as an independent.
True.
Because it's harder to schedule those bigger games. I mean, look at Notre Dame's historically weak schedule.
True.
They're playing the same 12 teams every year. And unless teams like USC are having a good year, they don't get a lot of ranked opponents typically.
No.
So
they don't. Next year will be great.
Yeah,
next year will definitely be great.
I'm looking forward to the rest of this year. Lions had a tough loss on Thanksgiving, but I think it's just what they needed. Definitely they needed a little bit of a reality check and a gut check. They're still ahead of schedule. I still see a playoff victory this year for them. And go Michigan. Hey, that's our food truck show today.
On that note, you still looking for a bus, by the way?
No.
Oh,
no. I don't have space for a bus. I really have space for a trailer.
Found one for sale.
Oh, okay. Well, you should get one.
11,000.
You can pull one of your trailers with the bus. You can use the bus for indoor seating on for your trailer.
Not so much. But anyway.
All right. Everybody, hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back in 4 weeks. We'll be back next week. Next week, Monday. Monday's good for you?
Monday is great.
Awesome. We will have Monday morning food truck on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time, as usual. For those of you that were used to finding us on YouTube, you can expect for those to start happening again. I know that there was a big gap, and I just had zero time to get all the editing and stuff done that needed to be done. So look for those to start popping back up on YouTube. If you're not following us, subscribe to us on the YouTube. Please do that. I have a 8-year-old stepdaughter who is bragging about all her YouTube subscribers to me. She has more YouTube subscribers than we did.
She puts in a lot more work than we do.
No, she doesn't. You should see these videos. I don't understand it. The
We'll start
algorithm is
monetizing
broken.
that thing. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyways, find us there. Subscribe to us wherever you're watching or listening to the podcast. We appreciate you all sticking through with this for a year and a half with us. So surprisingly, we're still talking.
This has been
I
great.
don't know about what, but we're talking. You're excused.
More rambling. But
More rambling, yeah. So tune in next week for more food truck talk, less football talk, probably. We'll see.
yes, we will have good food truck talk. I believe hopefully we may have a guest. We will announce that when the time comes. And
Right.
then yeah, we'll go from there.
All right. Peace
Have a
out,
great
everybody.
day.
Have a wonderful day.
Woo.